Hello and welcome to the Franchise Tag Podcast with me, your host, Freddie Hall. Welcome back, Adam and Andrew, for a very special live edition of the Franchise Tag Talk Show. We did one a couple of weeks ago when it was the free agency period. I mean, we are still in free agency period, but like we sort of said last week, it has slowed down dramatically, incredibly, some may say. So much so that the draft experience is, I think, it's been pushed forward for me this draft cycle. Like, we're not usually really talking about the draft just yet. I don't think. I mean, we're talking about it, but I think it's getting highlighted a little bit more at the moment because of the craziness of free agency was right at the start, and now that it is really completely slowed down. I mean, the biggest news around the last few days is Lavonte David came out saying retired. Mo Salah's going to leave Liverpool. Travis Kelce got a 3-year deal. We knew he was coming back, but it's a 3-year deal. 3 years. Do we really think he's going to stick around 3 more years? He's like Trump.
He can roll around for a couple more years, can't he? He'll be all right.
He only has to come on the pitch every night. He's just there to be pals with Mahomes, really, isn't he? Just keep him safe.
Do a bit of blocking, Maybe he's not so keen on having kids yet. Maybe that's maybe the kids are coming soon, and he's like, "Sod that, I'm still playing." So who knows?
Well, I'm sure that will probably be one of the most expensive nannies the world has ever seen, with Taylor all over the world and Trav in, I don't know, Buffalo on a Thursday night in December. Playing a game. So basically what we've decided to do is we're doing a mock the mock. I will hope you've seen these done before by Andrew and Adam. They do a fantastic job on these. Have you guys done one yet this season?
No, we did our own mock.
We did
draft
yours
on mine, and that sort of starts the mocks. We do mine first, and then we look at some of the others. But we've been doing the player profiles, the top 10s. We've just finished the O-line group, so we've rounded out for the offensive players now. So this will be our first mock the mock.
Oh, fantastic. So you've got now the QBs, the running backs, and the wide receivers out.
Correct.
The QBs and running backs are out. The wide receivers will be out pretty soon. And we recorded the O-line last night, so that will be out as well relatively soon. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So, you might as well go and check them out as well. It relates to what we're going to be talking about tonight, so you'll get a bit more of an in-depth look. So we're looking at Daniel Jeremiah's 3.0, so his third mock draft that he's published to the world, I suppose, on the NFL.
That's mental that it's on 3.0 as well. I said this to Adam yesterday. Mental, he's on 3.0 already. I will be doing one pre-combine and free agency. I'll do one after, and then I'll do my final one. So I'll do 3 total. I don't know how he's managed to get 3 already.
He's just involved in that world so much. It's his every day. His job is that. So I suppose the goalposts just get moved in his world like every week, where things suddenly change, rumors come out. I don't know, the more information that comes out and the more information he hears about, the more likely he is going to change it up completely and be able to sort of readjust. Now, like every mock draft, as included, we don't really know what's going to happen. But this does give us a good idea. And, I would say when we've done them in the past, we've been we're in the realms for, I would say we have a fairly decent hit rate when it comes to in the realms of it. I wouldn't say always it's necessarily the right player, but sometimes it's the right position at least. Players not dropping, players going a bit higher, etc. So yeah, it's a fun one to do. So we're going to get Daniel Jeremiah, those who don't know, big NFL reporter in the world of media analyst, I suppose, in the world of NFL and sport in general in America. He's a top bloke, a top guy within that sphere, one of the best, if not the best, some may say. So yeah, it's going to be fun going through his mock. We're going to go through it pick by pick. Would you like me to sort of go like 1 then 2, like Andrew do 1, Adam do 2? I mean, we can defunct 1. I'm okay with that, obviously.
I think we look at the pick and then we both have a little chat about it and we move on. If it's one of those like pick 1 and it's all censuses this is correct, then you can move to the next.
Fantastic. Well, here we go. We've got the article up here, so we'll have the article as well as us on the screen. So, without further ado, number one, Las Vegas Raiders picking one. Again, we're not going to spend too much time on this one, as we can imagine. It's Fernando Mendoza, quarterback of Indiana, Heisman Trophy winner. Obvious. I mean, we've had it in a fair few seasons now. Caleb at one, Kyler at one. Very obvious pick this straight away off the bat. I don't think we or any of us need to dwell on this really for too long. So the only thing I would say is I saw one today. I posted it to you guys with Joel Klatt, another fantastic college football media analyst, really great podcast as well. For people should definitely check that out. He did the whole draft if every college player was eligible and still had Mendoza at one. So is he that good?
Yeah, I suppose the point is the season that he had, he got better and better. The coaches got more film on him and they showed more of him, and he only got better throughout the playoffs. Everything they threw at him, he played a couple of teams twice, and that's what you want in it: progression, mentality, maturity, all of that. And he's got that in abundance. So I think that's what's got the other guys that are still at college that haven't gone into this draft. They've gone back because we need to see more from them. And we don't need to see any more from Mendoza to say he's good.
And as ever, because we are live, make sure you whack your opinions in the comments. Maybe we'll read one or two out if we get any. That'd be fantastic as well. So make sure you do that wherever you're watching this podcast this evening. Again, we will be posting, it'll be still on our channel. I'll also be editing it down to sort of the range of picks. So make sure you check that out as well. On to pick two. The New York Jets have gone for Arvell Reese, linebacker / edge out of Ohio State, a player that Andrew knows very well, being a Ohio State fan. But Adam, being the college guy, that you get very involved in the college stuff now at this time of the year and towards January and onwards. Arvell Reese, I mean, a hell of an athlete, hell of a player, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we feel that he's definitely a very good edge rusher. I think it's edge is the right position. I think it makes loads of sense. Jermaine Johnson obviously was traded away. It's kind of the one area that they didn't do anything in free agency with other than trading Jermaine Johnson away. So to get a premium position, the main guy, I think it's really a matter of how you feel between Arvell Reese and David Bailey. I think they're the two that a lot of people will talk about. But yeah, I mean, Reese looks really good. I don't think it really matters which one you go for. They're both going to be very good. So yeah, it makes sense and a pretty obvious pick, I think.
Speaking of which,
I'd go back to that because I don't think it's the right pick for the Jets.
Okay.
I think he's the better player. I'll give him that. But he has not played a full season at edge rusher. When Abdul Carter was that hybrid player that people are likening him to, he moved to edge and played a full year at edge. Reese has never played a full year at edge, and he's going to be a developmental player with a really high ceiling. And the Jets, I'm just not confident that the Jets will be able to work with a guy like that with the coaching staff that they've got in. And I think they'd be better off if I was them picking an outright edge rusher, which David Bailey, if that's the guy, or Bain. I think if that they're true edge rushers and they're proper edge rushers and that's what they need. I think this guy needs to land at the right place to get the best out of him. And I'm not sure if New York's the best place for him. So yeah, that's my concern with that. But I do think he's the better player.
No, got a bit of Micah Parsons about him where he would work at edge.
Yeah, no, I've not got an issue with that. I think that's
it's just a coach. You think the team fit?
Yes.
Michael went to Dallas and got that coaching.
Yeah,
he's going to New York.
He needs to go to a team that can use his tools and progress him. And I've not got confidence in the Jets being able to do that with the coaching staff they've got at the minute.
Okay.
What do you mean at the minute? Ever?
Well, I don't think that staff's going to be there for much longer, really. I can't. Yeah, another bad year, and they're gone, aren't they?
Correct.
On to number 3, Arizona Cardinals taking Francis. I believe it's pronounced Marinoa. I think
Correct.
that the UIGO within mariculture is got that N in it. Offensive tackle out of Miami. I mean, because it's not strong quarterback class, everyone's going to go, well, Arizona need quarterback, but really they need to do what this pick it requires, where go and build a good O-line and then get your guy, and to get, to pair a new offensive tackle up with a fresh quarterback next season. I mean, it's playing for the future, isn't it? This one.
It is, but if they're picking him at 3, that means it's a guaranteed that he's going to play tackle. Me and Adam have covered the O-lineman, and there's lots of people saying that there's a possibility he might be moving into guard. But I think if they're picking at 3 and he's going to go at 3, that means he's definitely a tackle.
It says here he's a plug-in and play guy at right tackle, so he's definitely not playing the left then.
No, I mean, he's played both, hasn't he? He's played left tackle and right tackle, but I think he is predominantly right. Look, I think the thing with a lot of these offensive linemen, we were saying it does feel like a lot of them have played tackle, but chances are they are going to move into guard. I think that he deserves a shot at tackle, and I think that he's got a really good chance of doing it. And he, for me, he's the best O-line guy in the draft, and is a top 5 talent. So I think it's fine that he's there. Yeah, I mean, as you were saying, Fred, when it comes to the situation that the Cardinals have found themselves in, they've got a lot of holes. So going for the best O-line guy is never going to be a bad decision to make. So I think because of that, it's completely fair to take him here.
To the Tennessee Titans at number 4, they take running back out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love. Everyone is, I mean, a lot of people are saying this is the best player within the draft. I don't think it's necessarily Tennessee's number 1 need, but when you've got someone this talented, to help out Cam Ward for Ward to pass it off to Love, and in them pressured situations, it's a fantastic piece to get.
Yeah, Adam's not convinced by this one. He wasn't sure on it being. We went through it, and you said it's not their biggest need. And after I re-looked at it, I felt like it probably was one of their biggest needs. I don't think Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears, they were down towards the bottom, I believe, last year in the rushing game. So I don't think they're overly that strong at running back. They brought in Wan'Dale Robinson in hopes that has strengthened the wide receiver. I do think they are still short at wide receiver. I don't think they brought Calvin Ridley back, but I'm not sure he's the answer. I do like Iomanor, but again, he's only coming into his second year. So I do think there's something lacking at wide receiver, but I don't think Pollard and Spears are the future. So I've no issue with them going Love. It's a risky pick taking a running back at 4, but they've addressed a load of defense in free agency, as it says from Daniel Jeremiah there. So I think they're definitely going offense. It's just whether it's wide receiver or running back here, I think.
I'm just taking a look now just to see where they were on that list. But yeah, you're not loving it, Adam.
I'm not. The reason I just think it's bad process, to be honest. I think it's a really, when you go and you pick up a running back in the first round, I think it needs to be because you're at a point where your team is pretty strong and you're doing quite well. And I understand that they've brought in an awful lot of free agents, but we were all saying that we weren't overly keen on what they had brought in a lot of the time. I think there's some real top quality guys here who will be an absolute difference maker for them in their defense, at linebacker, at safety, which I think would make so much more sense for them to do that and to build. I also feel like that might be what Robert Saleh would think as well, as the defensive-minded head coach, that he would want that, and he would want these guys. You've got 2 guys that are coming out of Ohio State in Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs, and I think either of them would be great in this team. I just don't think the idea of going out and getting the star running back is necessarily the right move, and it feels very similar to what the Raiders did last year, and we saw how well that went.
Does anybody else think that
they were 30th in rushing and 30th in touchdowns?
I'm look, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears are the future for this team. I'm just saying I think it's the wrong move now.
Does anybody else think that they're really putting a lot of eggs in the Daboll basket, where they've kind of let him pick up Wan'Dale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger? There's a few others come from the Giants. You know, he's worked with Saquon Barkley, so that, you know, there's that connection of saying like he's got worked well with a good run game, so Love will fit that. Do you think they're putting a lot of eggs in that basket? Because as Fred says, this isn't a Salah move, is it? You know, you'd expect him to go defense, defense, defense. That's my ethos, and he's the head coach. That seems a bit strange to me.
I mean, for me, looking at their roster right now, I mean, they've invested a lot of money on that defense, and they've brought a lot of players in. But Wan'Dale Robinson, Austin Schlottman, the center, Cordell Volson, the guard, Austin Deculus, a backup left tackle, Dan Bellinger, Kylan Granson, another tight end, and then Mitch Trubisky to back up Cam Ward. I don't think they've invested loads in this offense. I mean, I know what you mean by about investing in Brian Daboll. This pick would sort of solidify that Daboll's going to be our guy and we're going to really back him and give him everything. But if you were going to give him everything, you'd have done a bit more than that with your offense.
What I mean is they've let him bring in Wan'Dale Robinson on a lot of money, and they've let him bring in Daniel Bellinger. And, you know, we're looking at saying it's going to be a running back here. That's what I'm saying. It seems like they're letting him have a bit more say so in the offense. So I think that's maybe why it's leaning towards Love here.
But his offensive style is to run first.
Yeah,
and I work with a good running back.
And I do feel like the way that they're going to play this is very much like the offense. That's yours, Daboll. You deal with that. Like I don't envisage Salah getting involved in any of that at all, and he's almost like Daboll can just do all of that. When you actually look at the free agent signings, it does make you can understand why he's come to the conclusion of running back. Like when you look at what they've done, and it's in that respect, it kind of makes sense. I just think it's not. To me, it's poor process. I think you're doing it wrong, and more often than not, when teams do this, it doesn't work. That's my only thing with it.
On to pick 5 for Andrew's New York Giants, and this is Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State. Like I said earlier, Andrew being an Ohio State fan knows them players very, very well. And Sonny Styles is, I mean, he's got star written all over him, hasn't he? I mean, you'd be very, very happy with this pickup, wouldn't you, Andrew?
Yeah, if we pick any Ohio State player at this pick, I'm happy. You know, if it's Styles, if it's Downs, if it's Tate, I will be very, very happy. So I'm not going to fault this. We've just lost Bobby Okereke, so that's a straight swap there. A very versatile player. Will fit the Harbaugh scheme well. I do think we need more help at wide receiver. I wouldn't mind. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't mind Carnell Tate here. I think that would complement Neighbors perfectly. And our defense is quite strong already. But if we would just want to keep picking the best player available, then no problem at this pick at all.
So far for DJ's top 5, no problem. You both have no problem with him. This being the top 5.
Well,
nothing ridiculous. I don't think there's
outside of Adam saying about Jeremiah Love, but would you? But Adam, to draw away from him being picked by Tennessee, Arizona could pick him. You know, like. Do you not see Love as being picked up 5 then?
Not for me.
Okay.
Talent-wise, yes, but not given the teams. No, I don't think it makes sense for any of them to be. You could argue the Giants, but I don't think that's needed really.
Well, the Giants have got Scatterbo, Tyron Tracy, and they've brought back Singletary. So I think that indicates we're probably not in for the running back game, I don't think.
Yeah, I think there's a strong chance that he does go top 5. I think what will happen is that either someone will come up or one of these teams will go, he is that good, we have to take him. But for me, none of these teams are in a position where they desperately need that running back to be like the final piece of the puzzle. So it feels very high to take a running back because of that.
It's gone to the first of Cleveland's 2 first-round picks in this draft, being the 24th pick and the 6th. They've got Daniel Jeremiah's got Carnell Tate, a Ohio State wide receiver, going here. Good pick. Andrew's just said that if the Giants picked him, you'd be happy. I think it's a decent piece for Cleveland. They don't have really offensive wise. It's pretty bad. He says here, feels like Browns need to land offensive tackle and receiver with their first 2 round selections. They take the first receiver off the board here, and potentially not getting the best tackle. I mean, there's other tackles, but the best tackle, I suppose, goes at 3 here in Jeremiah's view. So he feels they can hold on and wait.
Yeah, if you don't get one of the top 3 wide receivers, you don't get a good receiver. If you don't get one of the top tackles at this point, then there's still a lot of talent with their second pick for tackle. So I've got no issue with them doing it this way round rather than tackle. We're all in agreement. It's tackle and wide receiver they need. And I think this is the correct way to do it in terms of what talent's on the board, because I think they won't be, the other 2 guys won't be available for them to pick at their next pick. So I think this is the correct way round to do it.
Yeah, I also think he's the right guy. He's the right one for them as well. I think I reckon he's the more reliable wide receiver out of the top 3 and probably the most polished. So I think that because of that, it makes sense for them. When you look at their depth chart, their wide receiver sort of room is lacking in any sort of star power. So I think that he's definitely one that could become that. And as Andrew said, there's a lot of O-line guys this year. That's not going to be a problem. So, they've got the second pick. They can do that later.
The Commanders at 7 take Ruben Bain, Miami player, edge rusher. So there, Washington was aggressive to fill needs at edge rusher in free agency. Bain has versatility to play from the edge on early downs and slide inside in sub packages, making him a nice complement to new signings, Adafe Owe and Clarion Chason as well. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Commanders, Dan Quinn taking a defensive player here it seems reasonable to me.
I think you're right in respect of it being a defensive player. For me, when I look at that,
you're screaming David Bailey.
Well, I am screaming David Bailey, but personally, it's not actually necessarily about that. You've just spent an absolute shed load of money in Owe. Chason is not going to be someone who's not going to get involved. It feels like a lot going into the edge position. I know that they need it. Or they did need it, but it does feel like quite a lot. I would argue again, Caleb Downs is still there, and at safety, I know they've brought Nick Cross in, but I feel like it wouldn't be the worst idea to have Nick Cross with him, and that would be a very good pairing at safety. For me.
But you've got to admit, no matter how good the player is in Caleb Downs, the fact he is a safety will always drop him down the board.
No, I think that's wrong in the way the modern NFL game's going. I think when you look at the teams that have made big pushes in the playoffs into the Super Bowl and the types of safety that they've had, I think that it is becoming more polarizing that you need a safety. And when you look at Ohio State's defense, which was the #1 defense in college football last year, they got Caleb Downs and then they built round him. And I don't see why you can't do that in the NFL. I don't see why you can't take Caleb Downs, because he's not just your regular safety. He can come down onto the ball and he can drop back as well. He can play absolutely everywhere across that defense. So I think you get him and you build round him. So I'm fine with Adam's conclusion that would be the better player to go for. For me, he's probably, let's find out what's going on with this ankle that people have talked about. He's probably the best player in the draft. I know people might say Love, but I think Caleb Downs is the best player in the draft. So people missed out on Kyle Hamilton because he played safety, and look how great and phenomenal he's been. The only other position I would say for these guys is they have nothing at wide receiver, other than Scary Terry, who's getting a bit older, they literally have Treylon Burks and Luke McCaffrey. They brought in Van Jefferson, didn't they? So again, if they do want to help their franchise quarterback, their young lad that all hopes are on him becoming the next big thing for them, you might want to help him at some point on the offense. So that might be an area to look at wide receiver for them as well. I think Makai Lemon here maybe would be perfect with Terry McLaurin.
Pick 8 from New Orleans Saints is the stop of the falling of David Bailey, I suppose, in Adam's eyes. They're the Texas Tech edge. Bailey, it's interesting for me because you know me, I'm the novice in the college stuff. I know what I'm talking about, and I know the teams, I know the players, but I don't track it all. However, I do keep an eye on mocks a lot of the time. And Bailey, for me, at one point was in January, February, was like 20s, went up to the teens. I guarantee by DJ 4.0, I think David Bailey's a top 5 player picked, maybe even a top 3 player picked. His rise at the moment is unbelievable.
I still can't put him above Bain. Bain for me is the best pure edge rusher. Taking Reese out of the equation, Bain for me is better. But yeah, David Bailey here at this pick. Yeah, pick it. It's perfect. It fits what the Saints need perfectly. But I think as we've spoke down the list, we haven't really gone, they definitely need an edge rusher. They should be getting an edge rusher. So it might be because this is where they need to go in terms of playing the team's needs.
Do you not think that the Saints have kind of always gone down that route of wanting a sort of like a power edge rusher as well, rather than a finesse guy?
They've missed as well a lot of times, haven't they? They've missed, and they've had Cam Jordan to back it up.
Yeah, is it Granderson they've got? They had a bit of a dip in form, and Chase
Burner, that was a massive.
Chase Young doesn't stay fit for the whole season, despite the fact he plays well when he has been, but he doesn't stay fit. So I think they do need to invest in that edge position.
Yeah.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are investing in O-line once again in Spencer Fano from Utah. It says here the Chiefs will have excellent information on him because of Andy Reid's relationship with former Utah head coach and former BYU teammate Kyle Whittingham. The number 2 O-line in this draft. In fact, no, don't even answer that because we want people to watch your O-line video that you've put out. So we can't say he's the number 2, but is this a good pick?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think they're missing a trick here when you get the first pick of the cornerbacks. You've just let both your cornerbacks go.
Yes, I completely agree.
So if you've got the opportunity to take the best cornerback and you want him to plug and play, Mansour Delane here would be the pick for me. They've got another pick later, and we've said there's plenty of O-line people to pick from. They've got their left tackle in Josh Simmons, and across the board, is their O-line that bad? Kingsley Suamata, Creed Humphreys, Trey Smith, Jalen Moore's a good right tackle. I don't think they overly need to go high on another right tackle here, which is where he's going to play. So. Yeah, I think they're missing a trick with cornerback here.
This just to also reiterate, this was published March 17th. Just for people to, if they go, why has he picked this person here? They've now got this person, for example. I think you're right in that debate. I just struggle to put my arms around a lot of the Chiefs O-line. I think I don't think some of them on that O-line are as good as people make out, personally. And
which one of them's not good?
Is it Jalen Moore? I don't think he's like
the right
groundbreaking. I just don't think he's like that good. I think he's decent. I just don't think he's like that good. But I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong in the fact of the cornerback thing at all. I just think, you know, if the route they want to go down is to get someone young, really versatile, you know, can be a right tackle, it says here, eventually kick inside to guard if necessary, then they can go and do that. And let's be frank, they, after what happened with Pat Mahomes, there is going to be a more onus on, we need to protect him at all costs.
Yeah, you use your later picks. Usually you've got another pick later in the first round. You've got second round picks. Bolster up on your O-line there. I think. Adam, what's your thoughts? Have they missed a trick here?
I feel like the strength in O-line is much more in this year's class than what the cornerbacks are. I'm not saying that there isn't strength in the depth of the corners, but I think that the O-line is very strong. I mean, we recorded the O-line top 10. At the end of it, we were going over like other mentions, and we came out with like another 5 or 6 quite quickly, where it's like these guys they could be top 50 guys. So I think there is a lot of strength at O-line. So it does make you feel a little bit like, why would you go so high when you don't need to? You've got, is it pick 30? I think they've got now, isn't it? So they could take an O-line guy there, but I think corner makes the most sense. I fear that they might panic and do this because it will be as simple as, we need to protect Mahomes. We need to protect Mahomes. It's kind of that sort of blind, not looking at all the problems, but just going, we need to do this. And it kind of felt like that's what the Bengals did a couple of years ago with Joe Burrow, where it's like, we've got to go O-line because we have to protect Burrow. So it kind of feels like you could end up with that situation. But yeah, I do agree. I think there's not as many top corners as there are O-line guys, and so a corner would make a bit more sense.
Freddie's on mute.
Don't tell him. Has he not worked it out yet?
No, maybe I should take over.
I think you should take over. It's all gone wrong.
Well, I picked 10, Adam. the Cincinnati Bengals. I've taken Caleb Downs.
We've done.
There we go.
I had myself on mute because I was having a drink of water, and then I was moving it on.
Well, I've told Adam at pick 10 we've got the Cincinnati Bengals taking Caleb Downs, so don't worry about that.
I could hear you. I was just muted. I could hear everything. I just couldn't understand what you were talking about. I just hadn't clocked together. It's a lot later than we usually do podcasts. Give me a break. Give me a break. No brainer pick here, I suppose, for both of you.
Yeah. If they go defense, they've gone correct, haven't they? They've never really replaced Jesse Bates, have they? So
yeah,
perfect. Got no issue with this.
Yeah.
First cornerback off the board, LSU's Mansour Delane, like you mentioned earlier, the Chiefs should be looking at going to the Dolphins. It says so. But DJ says here, Dolphins solve a corner spot of Delane, one of the draft's most consistent players on tape. It fills a need, and he's a good player. I mean, there's not more you can sort of ask for sometimes when you're drafting. Really, I think Dolphins fans will be pretty pleased with this.
Yeah, they've got loads of holes, haven't they, now? So, yeah, I've got no problem with him going for corner. And he can become the main corner there with the mighty Storm Duck as well. So, there you go. That's what we like to see.
The only other major hole they've got, again, wide receiver. They've just brought in Malik Willis and then got rid of basically everything other than Achane. So...
yeah, but they're trying to lose
heavy rumors. They'll deal Achane as well.
No, I think they'll be keeping hold of Achane. He's not going anywhere. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue. But yeah, they do need corner.
Jamad McCoy, Tennessee cornerback, going to Dallas here at 12. Only problem with him is didn't play the whole last year. ACL tear. Had a fantastic 2024 though. Fantastic footage that the teams will have seen of him. Will be fit to start the season. Yeah,
he's he missed the whole of last year, so he will be fit in time. So
pretty much had an agreement with Tennessee where even if he could come back, they weren't going to risk it. Pretty much, weren't it? Which I mean, I think that says a lot about his character then and what Tennessee think about him, that they would allow sort of a gentleman's agreement of that, because, you know, college teams don't do that. They don't care for the gentleman agreement. And yet they sort of had one with Jamad McCoy, who as I said, had a tremendous 2024, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, he did. He had a great 2024, and like you look at the film, and he really does look like. I think that the reason that he's kind of he's sort of being mentioned in the same conversation as Delane, but I think had he not had the injury, then you would have been looking at the number one guy quite easily. So yeah, I mean, it is that thing where obviously he's missed the whole season, but chances are he's going to be fully fit, and they need it, don't they? They need help in the secondary because they haven't really got anyone much there at the moment. So it definitely feels a big problem for them as well.
And we've seen. I know 12's still high, but it's not top 5. But we saw the same thing happen with Derek Stingley getting picked by the Texans at 3, and he missed the entire year, didn't he? And it's proved profitable for them. So this could be a great pick by Dallas. I think it's you just got to see what happens with him. Number 13, the LA Rams pick, which obviously via Atlanta. They pick Makai Lemon, USC wide receiver. As it says here, according to the new NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, the Rams are in on a trade discussion for Eagle star AJ Brown, which points to their desire to add at receiver. Different style of receiver, Makai Lemon. Would say he's probably nothing like AJ Brown, right?
Nothing like AJ Brown, but would complement Puka very well in the future. I know they were in the conversation for AJ Brown. I looked at this one and was like, I don't understand it, but I've looked through their roster. They don't need any help on defense. They needed cornerback, and they addressed that by bringing in the 2 Chiefs cornerbacks. So that is definitely not an area of need anymore. My other need for them was O-line. I think that, when you've got Stafford at quarterback, you're talking about protect Mahomes at all costs. I think it's even more serious that you protect Stafford at all costs. So you can never have too many O-linemen. So I was like, that's an area. But again, they've got multiple picks in the first round. So this is a luxury pick where they can take what they want. They could literally take whoever they want, and I've got no issue with it because they don't need another wide receiver. But why not take Lemon? He's a fantastic talent, and they've only got Adams for one more year, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that's the theory, isn't it? They've only got Adams signed for one more year, but also Adams is 34 when you start this season, so there is an element of age that is a bit of a concern as well. So yeah, I think because of that, it kind of makes sense to go for a wide receiver. Lemon, I would say, is probably. I think you would be more. You'd want to have him because, like you say, he complements Puka a little bit better than what Jordan Tyson would. So. Yeah. I think that makes more sense. And I mean, when I first saw it, I was a little bit like, I'm not keen on it. But then you look at the depth chart, you look at all the players they've got and the moves they've made, and there really isn't, much else. And they can go O-line later. So
can either of you see them trading that pick away for next year's draft in case they need a quarterback next year?
What, pick 13?
Yeah.
If someone's desperate for Makai, if the board sat like this, I think with Makai Lemon there and Jordan Tyson, and with, as we're seeing here, number 14 Baltimore taking Jordan Tyson for Arizona State wide receiver. If there's a bit of a run, same with sort of the edge and the O-line. If there's a team that's like, we really want that guy, I think that's like it could be a prime spot. I definitely could see that for sure.
There's been a lot over the last couple of days. There's been a hell of a lot of hype on Ty Simpson to the point where even someone came out and said he's better than Mendoza. But if there is going to be that hype, and there's a few of the guys a little bit further down in this draft that might be interested in him, there might be a bit of competition to move up and get him.
I don't see it being for him personally.
Well, I don't know.
I
don't know what else to say.
I wouldn't even have him in
I
the
don't
first
like
round.
it. I don't like it from the point of view of the team trading their first away for anybody in this draft. I don't like it.
Well, I don't know. It depends how invested you are in some of these players, though, man. Like I said, if Makai Lemon's there, for some people, the number 2 wide receiver in this draft, a very good player, fits into your system, interviewed really well with you. People are going to be invested. Move up. We have got back-to-back wide receivers here. Jordan Tyson going to the Baltimore Ravens. The one knock on him I keep hearing is injuries. Has had quite frequent injuries, right?
If it's all 50-50, if he's made of glass, it won't work. If he's not made of glass, he's possibly the best talent at wide receiver out of all of them.
Luckily here he's going into an offense that favors the run, rather, which is maybe what would be good for him, is being in the team that is run first, and he's not the guy, not heavily relied upon, and that could work out probably be better. And so this could be a really good pick for Baltimore, who do need something on at wide receiver. So I don't hate the pick there for that.
Do we think wide receiver is the right pick? Adam, do you think wide receiver is the right pick for them?
I'm not against it, because I do feel like they've only got 2. So I'm not against them taking wide receiver.
They've never really had anybody at wide receiver other than Zay Flowers. So if they
no,
were like,
but you might find that this is a slightly different. You've got a new sort of setup there, so maybe there might be slightly different mindset and things, and they might go for wide receiver a little bit more. So I'm not against it. I think he's the right type of wide receiver for them. You've got Zay Flowers, who's smaller, and I think that he'll be like a bigger guy, so that kind of helps. The one thing I would say is
the veterans, though. They could bring in a Keenan Allen or someone like that.
Yeah, no, that's that's fair. That is something they could do. The one thing I would say is that it's really difficult. I think it will tell you quite a lot who they pick, because if they go, I'm assuming you're going to say O-line.
No. I'm at pick 14, and I felt like the Ravens defense wasn't great, and we've had no interior defensive linemen come off the board yet. I think there's some serious talent at D-line that's not come off the board. And I just think that might be more valuable to them. Their defense was not fantastic. I know they brought in Trey Hendrickson, but I feel like that was their weak point last year, not their offense.
I could get behind you on that. I don't know.
I think that their defense probably just needs a bit of a fresh spark, and I think that will come from the new head coach.
You could see that. On to 15, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Akeem Mesidor, the edge from Miami. Got here, Tampa Bay lands a productive pass rusher, 35.5 college sacks, including 12.5 with Miami last season, who can set the tone off the edge with his physical play. We're debating Baltimore's pick. I don't think we would debate this pick at all. This is exactly what they need, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got no issue with them taking edge. Edge is fine for them. They don't need anything on offense. Edge is good. I like Akeem Mesidor. I think he is worthy of a first-round pick. I've got other edge rushers above him that haven't gone off the board yet, but no issue with this whatsoever.
Okay, we'll look at the New York Jets taking Omar Cooper, Indiana wide receiver, national champion, I should say, Omar Cooper. With Indiana. Awesome compliment to veteran receiver Garrett Wilson. It says here, obviously, the Jets got this pick via their trade with the Colts last season with Sauce Gardner. Adam, we've had Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, and the other name is
Carnell Tate.
Thank you. Has gone off the board. Omar Cooper, the next one in line.
I'm not against the theory of bringing in a wide receiver. It is Garrett Wilson and not a lot else, so that makes sense. It's a little rich for me. If for him, having said that, any wide receiver now, I would argue, is a little rich. So it is a little bit of a difficult one. I think if they genuinely really like a wide receiver, then it makes sense. I think they could go for him. I think they could go for Casey Concepcion. I think it could be either of them, and it's really about who they prefer. but yeah, I mean, it does feel like, especially as you could argue you've sorted edge out by bringing in Arvel Reese. A lot of has gone into that defense, so you're probably not going to want to go anywhere else. O-line is somewhere you could look at, but I actually think the O-line isn't overly shocking. You've brought Breece Hall back. Kind of makes sense that it's wide receiver, but I just feel like, do you know what? I feel like what would make more sense for them would be to trade up. They've got so many picks, trade up and get one of the big three. But I'm not against the position. I just think it's too soon for this guy.
That's what I mean about like the Rams, for example.
Mm.
The Rams, I think, would be more than happy to go to 16.
Yeah, but I feel like the idea of giving up your 27 first to move up 3 places seems a bit.
I just mean stockpile for 2027. It doesn't necessarily.
Oh yeah, no, you can do that. That's fine.
And then move up with your stockpile next year.
Yeah, and the Jets have got a ton of picks, so they could be a team that do it and go and just jump ahead of them other 2 teams and get themselves a wide receiver who I think is probably more worthy of being a pick at this sort of place.
To Detroit, number 17, Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle out of Georgia, tailored as it said in the description, but we all know it's anyway. Taylor Decker, their offensive tackle, isn't going to be in Detroit this season coming, so perfectly reasonable that they go this way. I think. I mean, Freeling is a player again that I didn't really see on any mocks, and then suddenly come out of nowhere a little bit and gone up and up and up a little bit. This is not as I've seen him higher in other mocks than this.
I've seen him in the top 5, Fred, from legitimate analysis. So we've not got him that high on our list. Spoiler alert! But they do need to go O-line. They've lost a couple of people on O-line now, and their tactic is keep Jared Goff is a pocket passer, so he needs to be protected, and run game is a big thing. So they do need that. Monroe Freeland, is he the guy? I'm not sure whether Giovanni Manu is going to be a good left tackle. I'm not sure about that. Whether they move Penei Sewell over there, I don't know. But I suppose they put Freeling in there because Freeling is one of 2 left tackles in this draft. So
I've heard strong rumor online and on other podcasts that Sewell will get moved, and now slot in a tackle that they take at right tackle.
Yeah, there's talk of him going to left, isn't there?
Sewell, that's what I'm saying. They'll put Sewell at left, and whoever they draft, they'll put it right. Now, if on the lines, maybe you're not exactly going, Sewell is now our left tackle, that's it, we're done. But you do I don't know, you do 5 games and you win 3 of them, and you feel like Monroe Freeling or X tackle is doing fantastically well at right tackle, more than capable of playing left tackle, you then switch it up. I think I don't think it's not a smart move by sort of like just chucking him to the wolves straight in at left tackle when you've got Penei Sewell, who is one of the best O-linemen in the league. You know, like he's fantastic. He's a top 5, if not top 3 O-lineman in the whole of the NFL. So you can give that other player, your new player, a little bit of grace period before slotting him at left tackle. You can even do a season. You can do a whole season of just switching him around, then switching around in the season after. You know, we look at Will Campbell this season. Look at how abused he was at the end of the year for not being able to block and not playing very well at left tackle. And he hadn't had a bad season overall, but he was clearly a little out of his depth.
I think he was injured, Fred. I'm not having it. He was out of his depth. I think he was injured.
Tomato.
Had a decent season.
I think he had a good season, but he got found out a little bit towards the end. Pick 18, Dylan Thinnaman, Oregon safety, another safety going in the first round. Says here from Jeremiah that he's done this every time for Vikings, tried to change it up, but it just makes sense here. Again, a name I didn't see on mocks now has come out of nowhere and is starting to go up the board. I suppose he probably had a very good combine. I think it makes sense for the Vikings as well as safety. It's a position that I, in previous mocks, have sort of gone with the Vikings a few times because I think they needed to sort of plan for Harrison Smith being gone. He is gone now, isn't he? Officially, he has officially gone. He's retired, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm sure he announced earlier this season. So yeah, Adam, this makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's a decent player as well. He's definitely one that I think is, like you say, he kind of was one who hasn't been mentioned much. And then as the combine season has happened, it's sort of all sort of developed and he's kind of kicked on and done really well. I think he's worthy of being a first round pick. And the Vikings need someone in that position. So it makes sense to me.
Can't have a Minnesota Vikings season without a white safety, can you? So
there you go.
Finneman off to Minnesota. 19, we have KC Concepcion from Texas A&M, wide receiver for the Panthers at 19. Someone to go with Jalen Coker and Tetairoa McMillan. Obviously, McMillan drafted last season. They go wide receiver again. They go back to the well. More firepower for Bryce Young, as it said here. Concepcion was a player that just came up a moment ago. We said for the Jets. Adam, you said pretty much out of the top three, you wouldn't take a wide receiver in the first round. But Concepcion is a player that I've seen frequently mocked in the first.
Yeah, I think again, it just kind of feels a little bit early for him. I think that him and Omar Cooper, I think for me, I'm not against them being in the first round. I just don't think that they should be. I think they need to be later, like towards the end. And having him as a number 3 with Jalen Coker and Tetairoa McMillan isn't the worst idea in the world. I think that you can do that. They do have other wide receivers at the moment, and you've got Xavier Legette, of course. But I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. However, I happen to know that there's a certain person sitting above me who is not so keen on this pick.
I've never said that.
I wasn't talking about you.
Yeah, I don't think they need help at wide receiver. I've got no issue with Coker, Legette. It seems like they're bought in with Legette and McMillan. They can't keep going wide receiver every single time. This would be the 3rd year running, wouldn't it, that they've gone wide receiver with the first pick. It doesn't need to be done. There is a player that if they do want help on offense, Adam knows this name as well, that they could go here, and I think it would be a lot better pick. I think Kenyon Sadiq at this pick. Tommy Tremble for me is not a tight end one. He's probably a backup. And Jatavion Sanders keeps getting injured. Surely Kenyon Sadiq's the pick here. No.
Even I've heard of Kenyon Sadiq. And I'm bought in. And I'm bought into this. Oregon tight end. Very good player.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked at this yesterday, I mentioned it and I was a little bit like, still a receiving option, isn't it? Kind of makes sense.
That's what he is, though, as well. He's not a blocking tight end. He's a receiving weapon. So, yeah.
To Dallas' second pick, we have TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson. Who'd they go for in the first pick again? It was Jamal McCoy, right?
Yeah.
Jamal McCoy. So, yeah, they go back to the well for defensive players. This pick through Green Bay with the Micah Parsons trade last season. They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot, aren't they, Dallas, with their defense, because it has been poor. They are pouring everything into it. I mean, if it doesn't go well next season with picking 2 defensive players here in the first round, the trade you did last season, the guys you brought in, the building you've been doing, I mean, you got to have a massive look in the mirror, haven't you?
I think they'll be fine.
What if they're not? But what if they're not, is what I'm saying.
Well, their offense was good last year. The defense was bad. They let their best defender go and they let all their cornerbacks go, and they're addressing those 2 places. They struggled to stop the run. They brought in 2 defensive interior linemen that are fantastic. They'll both be on the team next year. They replaced Parsons with Parker. They brought in a legitimate cornerback. I think that this makes their moves very, very sensible and very clever. I can't say that they're stupid. Or they need to take a look in the mirror. I think that they're good moves for a team that I shouldn't say nice things about. I just think they spend too much on offense. That's my only problem with them.
I wasn't stating that it's going to be bad. I was stating that if it doesn't work out,
this is a great move. I love TJ Parker. I think he's fantastic. I think this is a steal at 20. Just because like the whole of Clemson had a drop in productivity last year. The team just wasn't good. He was fantastic the year prior. He was edge 1 going into the season. And the whole team had a bad season, and he did perform well at the end of the season, it says, and at the Senior Bowl. I think this is a steal.
I think it's the right move. I don't think they go for him. I think they go for Keldrick Falk. It might not be the right choice, but I think it's the Jerry choice.
Edge rusher, Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Auburn?
Sorry if I got the wrong guy.
Auburn. Yeah, no, Auburn. You are right. Yeah, sorry.
But I think they go for him, and I think they would prefer the big defender, big edge rusher, rather than TJ Parker. I like Parker. I think he's good. I just don't think it's the one that you just know what Jerry's like.
My Pittsburgh Steelers up at 21. Blake Miller, back-to-back Clemson players, offensive tackle. Looking, DJ saying here that the idea of putting Fautanu at left tackle and therefore Blake Miller going in at right tackle. Don't know anything about Blake Miller. Just a good pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Should I be happy about this if this happens on the night?
This is a massive reach, Fred. He is my steal of the. He is my steal of the second round. I think top of the second round, someone's going to get this guy, and I think he's an absolute steal at that point. He's the one I'm talking of round 2. He's the offensive lineman you want to go for. He's the one I've been saying, wait, and take him in the second. No, I haven't got him a first round grade on him. He spent a lot of time at right tackle for 4 years at Clemson there, and it just hasn't really excelled to where it needs to be. But he's solid. I just think there's guys with higher ceiling that you could take at that position still on the board. I also do you want O-line? Do you want that to be your pick, Fred? So yes or no, Fred? Come on.
I'm just trying to think of the roster. Just looking down the roster.
Are you still happy with Broderick Jones?
No, I probably would say it should be O-line. It's the wise move. It's the wise move to go O-line, really. I'd like that or corner, but I could go O-line. I'm okay with that.
Adam,
I think
it's the wrong guy.
I think O-line makes more sense. You brought Jamal Dean in at corner. I'm not saying that's the end of your problems, but you have brought Jamal Dean in at corner.
AC Conception wouldn't be silly at this pick if he was available.
No. Well, I said that ages ago, didn't I? I thought he'd be great.
That's who we had on our 1.0.
You're right. Okay. Yeah,
and I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate a wide receiver, to be honest. I wouldn't either.
But I think it has to be a very specific type of one. I think it has to be Casey Concepcion. I think Omar Cooper might work actually, but Concepcion would be better. I think for you guys.
They'd have to complement Metcalf and Pittman.
Yeah, and Pittman as well, obviously. But yeah, I think O-line's fine for him.
On to 22. I'm not going to pronounce that whole name because
usually go on just for a laugh. Do it.
Oliver Vega, Ioane.
Oh, there you go.
Very good, but most people call him Vega Ioane. Interior offensive lineman, Penn State for the LA Chargers, 22. No brainer for me.
Yeah,
no brainer.
Absolute no brainer. If he's there for them, this is perfectly made for them. Easy.
I would even. Would I say Steelers pick? If he was there, maybe I'd be a bit more amped up.
He's a guard.
But I'm okay with that because I don't think we're that strong at guard. I think if we could do anything on that O-line. I think there needs to be a bit of a shuffle with some of them. The center's I'm pretty happy with Fautanu.
But when you think they've got Alt and they've got Slater, they haven't got that problem, have they, about wanting to tackle?
No, Chargers don't. No.
Yeah,
I think this is a complete no-brainer by the Chargers.
Yeah.
Caden Proctor, Alabama offensive tackle, going to the Philadelphia Eagles at 23. Says here by DJ, right tackle Lane Johnson's under contract through 2027, but the Eagles get some insurance for the 13-year veteran now. Proctor could also slide into guard if needed. It's sort of back-to-back no-brainers for me for both of these.
I mean,
he's very Eagles.
You called him by his wrong name, though, Fred.
Cadin?
No. His real name's Evan Neal. Didn't you know? That's the problem.
Is that what he looks like? Well, plays like, I suppose.
Adam believes he's Evan Neal in disguise. I think he fits what for the Eagles. I think he'd be good for the Eagles.
It makes sense. It makes sense for him to go for a O-line guy. But
this is the fourth one. This is the fourth O-lineman in a row. O-lineman, not offensive tackle, but Caleb Lomu, Utah offensive tackle, going to the Browns at the 24th pick, which they got via the Jags, which the trade was. Oh, it was the Travis Hunter trade. That's what I was trying to think. How did they get that pick? He said he's not projecting any trades in mocks just yet, but if the Browns do indeed take a receiver with their initial first choice pick, it will not shock me if they look to move up from 24 for an offensive tackle. Of course, taking they took don't tell me his name. Carnell Tate. I need to remember his name though, because I've got the 101 pick in fantasy, and you never know, I might.
You won't be taking Carnell Tate, boy.
Or mightn't I? Am I that crazy? Am I that crazy?
No.
Again, like it's sort of like 4 no-brainer picks in a row for me, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, we said, didn't we?
In terms of position.
Yeah, we said, didn't we? You take wide receiver with the first, O-line with the second, so it kind of makes sense. They've done a lot of good work on the O-line, so why not keep doing that? And makes sense to go in that route.
They've cleared out the age and brought in youth, right? Here.
This is now 2 of 2 for people that will 100% be playing tackle. He will definitely be playing tackle. So, and he's a fantastic pass blocker. So he's going to be. It'll help Shador quite a lot if that's who's going to be.
He just needs time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not the biggest of guys, so he struggles with run blocking because of his mass. But but developmental, but could be really, really good.
But actually, that kind of makes sense for the Browns as well, because they ain't going to be looking to win anything.
Yep.
So
yeah.
And in your opinion, Adam, Shador needs all the help he can get. So
he needs just all the help he can get, predominantly from Deshaun Watson taking his job. But he does need all the help he can get.
Number 25, the Chicago Bears take safety out of Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. We never really talked about on the group Jaquan Brisker getting signed by the Steelers. I mean, I was really happy with it. I thought it was a really, really good move, and he's played really well for Chicago, and they've gone and got someone to replace him straight away. I mean, it's the third safety to go in the first round. I just don't see free safety to go in the first round. I'm sorry, I just don't think it will happen. Even in your modern NFL thing.
I've got a second round grade on this guy as well. Haven't got a first round grade on him, so it's a reach for me. And I'll say it again because I said it about 10 picks ago. There's still none of the interior defensive linemen got off the board yet. And they are of better talent. You know, we haven't had Woods. We haven't had McDonald. We haven't had CJ Allen. They're all still there.
I think the fact they brought in Kobe Bryant, didn't they, as well, who did well at the Seahawks. So it does feel like a bit of an odd choice, I must say.
Pick 26, we have Cassius Howe, edge rusher out of Texas A&M. I'll read out. It's quite long, but I'll try and bite-size it. Level of concern about Howe's lack of length will vary from team to team, but his first step quickness is unquestioned. Fastest 10-yard split of any defensive line group at this year's combine. Bills DC Jim Leonard comes from Denver, where the Broncos won off the edge with Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper, both ranked among top 5 of their position last season average get off per next gen stats. So this is about fit. with this one, isn't it? More than anything, it might be for you to maybe Cassius Howe is it might be a reach, maybe in your view, or this might be perfect. He might even be, how has he fallen? But for me, DJ's put him here. It's the traits are what the Bills want.
I have him going around this pick in mine. I think the value is fine for him. The only question I would ask, and Adam will ask as well, is how's Falk not been taken yet? That's my only question. But yeah, this is value's fine for him. I know he's got tiny arms, but he's a good talent.
Yeah, I find for me, I think Falk is a better prospect than what Howe is at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. I think the position choice I'm not against either. I think
they lost AJ Nessa, didn't they?
So I'm not against it. I just, for me, it's not the right guy. But I mean, if that's what they're into and all that.
Why is Falk dropping them? In DJ's opinion,
no clue.
I would say that Falk is kind of a bit of an old-fashioned edge rusher. He's kind of a bit more of a big guy, sort of power guy, and I feel like a lot of teams now, they like the finesse type.
This is what happened with the conversation with Jared Verse, because he was a pure edge power guy, and people go, no, you need the hybrid athletic guy, and it's silly. Take the guy that can push people backwards into the quarterback.
Well, a name that we came up earlier, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon, going to the San Francisco 49ers. Oh boy, him with Shanahan, that's problems.
I'll let you go. I was just having a look at something. You go for it, Andrew. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, they've still got Kittle. I think Kittle's still got time on his side as well. I don't think he's particularly, this might be Kittle's last year, or we need to replace him. I think there's still a bit of time left in him. So it does seem a bit odd that they go tight end, but why not have two? Get Purdy some more weapons. That's no problem.
When was the last time Kittle played a full season?
Last year? Did he play full season last year?
He did not.
No, he got injured at the end and towards the end.
I guess I would even maybe wager a bet that he's never played a full season.
Do we think that? I mean, it feels like it's a pick that's a bit not really needed.
A vanity pick.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I know we can say this about Kittle and that he hasn't played a full season and all that sort of thing. But who was it they bought? It was Jake Tonges, wasn't it? Who came in,
and they've re-signed him, haven't they?
And they re-signed him, really well. And I felt like he looked all right, and I kind of felt like their defense wasn't fantastic last year.
Injured.
It was injured.
Yeah. No, I get that, but I mean, like, they always have injuries.
I will have to bite my tongue a little bit because it since 2021. In fact, I'll just go for the full thing. So games. So he was registered to play in 15 games, but started 7 in 2017 rookie season, obviously. 2018-16, 2019-14, 2020 he only played 8. 2021-14, 2022-15, 2023-16, 2024-15, the last year 11. So he has been playing over 10. I would have wagered he's not played over like 10 games for the last 5 years, but he has. He is coming up to 33 though.
Yeah, I get that. I just think there's other areas,
and not sound like. God, this is a bit of a weird thing to say. Has very much keen interests outside of football. Will get a television job. You know what I mean? Like it's not like his career's over and he's done with NFL. Like he is going to be hot property for any network to have him on. He'll be the next Gronk.
Who would you rather replace at this point in the draft? Would you rather try and replace Trent Williams, who was on about not playing this season, or George Kittle? What's more important that you try and replace? You've still got Trent Williams.
Trent Williams,
and
right.
I think Max Iheanacho, who we've said, Max Iheanacho could be something super special in the NFL, but he didn't start playing football till college. So he's only played 4 years ever in the NFL because he came from Nigeria, where he played soccer and then he played basketball. If you get him and Trent Williams teaches him, he could be ridiculous. And I think I'd rather replace my left tackle and protect Purdy than replace George Kittle, who Tonjes is good, and maybe you could dip into maybe there's two other really good tight ends in this draft. I know that Sadiq's the best, but I think Stowers and Max Clare and Trigg and big people like that are really good tight ends as well. So I think I'd rather replace my left tackle with someone that could be the next Trent Williams.
Pick 28, the Houston Texans take interior offensive lineman from Texas A&M, Chase Bisontis. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I feel like I haven't, but...
No, you're good.
Chase Bisontis. Lot of similar graded interior offensive linemen, DJ says here, that have in the second round range. I have a feeling one of them is going to climb to round one. Around these picks, you always get one that you go, he's a second round player, and someone takes him because they're like, well, we might as well get him. We're here. There's no one else we want, really. And I go, I know you've said about wide receiver, but I'd think about it here myself.
What, wide receiver?
Yeah.
What for Houston?
Yeah. They have Nico Collins. That's it.
And Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I forgot about Higgins and Knoll. Yeah, no, O-line's right then. Yeah, Higgins and Knoll are good.
O-line is correct.
It's more, I was thinking they lost
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk and Tank Dell's pretty much like done.
Well, Tank Dell's back this year, isn't he?
Yeah,
for
how long?
Possibly. Yeah,
that's right. Knoll will just take his place. Anyway, the pick's right.
The position's right.
It's definitely Emmanuel Pregnon there, no?
Yeah.
Okay, on to 29, Kansas City Chiefs. This is the Rams pick with the Trent McDuffie trade. Take Colton Hood, cornerback out of Tennessee, second Tennessee cornerback to go. Prior to Jamal McCoy going to the Cowboys at 11 or 12. It was 12, I believe. Chiefs land one of the most complete cornerbacks in the draft, according to DJ. Hood can cover and play the run, filling a big void in the secondary that is being rebuilt. Not a true word said there. They've got rid of McDuffie, and then their other cornerback has also gone to the Rams. So, yeah, this is obvious. This is a very obvious one. They could have, like you said, we said it at their pick at the top of the board when they took the offensive lineman. They maybe should go corner there and then go O-line with this pick. And I think actually how Jeremiah's played out, you guys were right for saying that. To be honest, I think now in retrospect, looking at how this has panned out, they should go on cornerback at the top, really.
Yeah. And there's still O-lineman here that I think is very, very talented. We've just talked about one. Possibly should have gone to the 49ers. So I think the other way round would be better.
I think Hood's a solid corner, though, isn't he?
He's first round talent. They're not reaching. That's where he's going to go in the draft. He's good.
Yeah.
The fall of Keldrick Falk from Auburn edge is at Miami. Their second pick with the Denver Broncos, where they got that. What was that for? Oh, that was for Jalen Waddle. Of course it was. It says it right in front of me. You both like him. He's the big guy. You've said he's a power guy. Goes into a Miami team that is getting completely rebuilt, and he's going to be their premium edge rusher. So Bradley Chubb's not there anymore. I know Jalen Phillips went last season, got traded, but like he was there sort of like next in line to be their big guy. He's not there. So Falk now comes in, star guy on that edge. Like you said, old style edge rusher, but it's not a style that has completely disappeared. And there's still some fantastic players out there that play that style, and Jared Verse being one of them, as we said. So yeah, it's a good fit for Miami.
Yeah, I think they'll love him. I think he'll suit the defense really well. It's a very Green Bay pick. So it kind of makes sense with Hafley and Sullivan there now. So yeah, I think that it's a decent pick. And look, as we've said, they've got loads of holes, so it doesn't really, to a certain extent, it doesn't really matter because they're not about this year, are they? They're not about 26. They're going to be about the future, and he'll do well for them.
The first, and I can imagine, well, I actually do know, the only defensive tackle to go is at number 31, New England Patriots, Ohio State's Caden McDonald. Does that make 4 Ohio State players in the first round here? 5. Oh, yeah, of course, I'm forgetting the O-lineman.
You're not forgetting the wide receiver?
No, I actually remembered the wide receiver this
They
time.
haven't had any O-linemen go in the first round, Fred, so...
I thought they had. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the Alabama Evan Neal comparison dude. Caden something.
Proctor, yeah.
Proctor.
That's the one. With another Kane. Kane McDonald. Can do the dirty work and let Milton Williams get up the field. You've said it already. No D tackle gone yet. First one at 31. Is DJ underrating the interior defensive lineman, or?
Yeah, I don't know how. I love Caden McDonald, definitely a round 1 talent. I also love Peter Woods, who, unless he's picked 32, which I don't think he is not on here. And I also like Caleb Banks as well. I think there's round 1 talent in all of them. So I'm glad that McDonald's made it into the first round, and it is a great pick for the Patriots. Adam, do you feel the same about the D lineman?
Yeah, there's a couple of others. I like Lee Hunter. I think I'm not saying he's necessarily first round, but I think he's good. There's some really good defensive linemen this year, and very, very surprised that Peter Woods is not in the first round.
To round out Daniel Jeremiah's mock 3.0, we have Jadarian Price, running back out of Notre Dame. 2 running backs, both from the same college.
Yeah. Not for me.
He is not my running back 2, and he has not got a first round grade for me either.
Interesting. Well, he's not wrong. Kenneth Walker's now gone. Zach Charbonnet coming off of injury, but does this really need to be the priority? I just don't. I don't really see it, to be honest with you.
I thought they'd want to address cornerback. Lost Reek Woolen, didn't they? And also lost and Bryant as well. So, Brandon Cisse, I think it's for me, has got first round talent written all over him at the bottom of the first, especially. I think that that would make logical sense for me. I think that this would be a massive reach for me for him to go in the first round. I've got Jonah Coleman above him in my rankings, and I haven't even got a first round grade on Jonah Coleman.
Yeah, I think they need a running back. I don't think they need to take it in the first round. Like you say about the sort of secondary, I think makes a lot more sense. And not that I would like to say that Daniel Jeremiah has done this purely as a bit of a get people talking sort of thing, but I haven't seen 2 running backs in the first round in any other mock draft. Interesting.
Well, I'll come off of it. So critiques then, one being no 2 running backs in a mock draft has not happened anywhere. Any other things you completely disagree on? Any things you strongly agree on?
I don't fit like the running backs to me. I don't think are right. I think I think that the majority of the positions are right. So I think that's probably the way to look at it. You can come out and go, "Oh, I prefer that guy rather than that guy." That's just personal preference. But yeah, I think most of the positions are right. But yeah, the 2 running backs I think are too early. And then after the first 3 wide receivers, I think the next 2 are too early as well. So I feel like he's gone a bit offense heavy compared to what I would say you should do.
And do you echo them thoughts, Andrew, or do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think obviously we mentioned it right there at the end that there's a severe lack of interior defensive linemen that should be in the first round that has been clearly left out. So that's what's been missed. I do think that there is a bit of a reach on the running back at the end, but overall, as I was going through it, I thought that it was a fairly decent mock draft in terms of I couldn't really argue too much about any of the picks really, only other than me analysing it and what I would have done and things like that. But overall, I think it's a very solid draft, which usually at this time you get a lot of unusual things in there to really go, hang on, what's going on here? But I think this is a very solid one. It is his third attempt, so
third time's a charm, as they may say. Andrew, Adam, thank you very much for joining me tonight, and thank you everybody who has watched us live this evening with the mock of Daniel Jeremiah's 3.0 mock draft. Many more draft videos coming your way. Andrew and Adam got some fantastic videos but are already on our channel, and they have got more to come, so make sure you check that as we take our long road to Pittsburgh for the 2026 NFL draft. Make sure you, if you are on YouTube watching this video, or if you are watching it again, or any of our clips, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, and also check us out on social media where you can give us a follow as well. We'll see you all again very soon, and enjoy the rest of your week.